eternal God, as a working day turns to Sabbath rest, you have been with us all the week, and yet we have often forgotten you. Now, kindling these lights, we say your name, remembering the love you have shown us, and in gratitude and thanks we turn to you to bathe our hungry souls in your kindness. Shabbat Shalom, and please do join me in lighting the Shabbat candles. And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you, and Shabbat Shalom Yal. This evening we are delighted from the Ark Synagogue to also be welcoming Temple Micah from Nashville, Tennessee. It is a place that I really aspire to come and visit, so hopefully we'll be able at some point in time to do congregational swaps, or not swaps, but to come and visit each other. But this evening we're delighted that my friend and colleague Rabbi Flip Rice will be preaching the sermon this evening. And later on this evening, for those in London or wherever we are in Europe, at around midnight our time, I will be preaching in Temple Micah in Nashville. So I'm hoping to be up, and hopefully this service is going to give us the vitality to keep us up a little bit longer and to celebrate this Shabbat, whether it be lunchtime in Nashville and in Florida. I can see that Rowan's already with us, and wherever we are, so that we can celebrate and relax on this beautiful Shabbat. Or Hadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'or'o. May new light shine upon Zion, and may we be worthy to see its splendor. On this day, may we see the world in a new light. On this day, let us be freed from desire for gain, from ambition for material things. On this day, let us look beyond time and space towards eternity and know the blessing of peace.
Amen. If you were standing because you were lighting your candles, then do feel free to take a seat. And do join us in reading. How lovely are your dwelling places, God of the hosts of heaven. My soul longs and yearns for your courts. My heart and flesh sing for joy to you, the living God.
As a sparrow finds a home, and the swallow has a nest where she may lay her young, so do I seek out your altars, my sovereign and my God. Happy are those who find their strength in you, whose hearts are full of your praise. Passing through the driest valleys, they find it a place of springs, blessed with pools by the early rains. They go from strength to strength. They appear before God in Zion. God of the hosts of heaven, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. One day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather stand at the threshold of your house than dwell in tents of wickedness. Eternal God, you are a sun and a shield. Your gifts are grace and glory.
You withhold no good things from those who walk uprightly. Eternal ruler of the hosts of heaven, happy are those who trust in you.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachenu Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due.
We praise the Eternal One, to whom our praise is due forever.
Please be seated. We read together. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. Please rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Va'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol ma'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha. U'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha. U'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'ish'arecha. Le'ma'an tizkeru ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Please be seated.
All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together.
מי כמוך בלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש נורא, תהילות עושי פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם עד.
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu be'akol, yoshvei telemeh. Please rise. Da 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 da.
praise you, eternal one, our God and God of our ancestors, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah. Great and mighty, awesome and exalted God, you deal kindly with us and embrace us all. You remember the faithfulness of our ancestors, and in love bring redemption to their children's children for the sake of your name. You are our sovereign and helper, our redeemer and shield. We praise you, O God, shield of Abraham and protector of Sarah. At Gibora le'olam Shaddai, Machaya metim at Rabba lehoshia, Meshiva haruach u'morida hageshem, Madricha hashemesh morida hatal, Mechalkelet chayim b'chesed, Mechaya metim b'rachamim rabim, Somechet noflim v'rofet cholim, Umatira asurim, Umekayemet emunata l'shenei afar, Mi chamoch ba'alat gvurot, Umidom malach, Gvura memita umachaya umatzmicha Yeshua. V'ne'emana at lechayot metim, Kulcha at Shaddai, Machaya hametim.
Kadosh ata v'norah shemecha, ve'in lanu Eloah baladecha. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. And if you're classically liberal, then, or classically reformed, we should say as well, then please be seated. Teshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotav. Together, our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, Eternal One, for the holiness of your Sabbath. We continue. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael, Utfilatam ba'ahava tikabel, Utehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, v'yira na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei avotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu magen ishenu, atahu ledor vador. Nodeh lecha u'nesaper tehilatecha, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודוש. שלום רב ישראל עמך, Tasilim le'olam, Shalom Adonai, Osei HaShalom.
We'll take a few moments for silent prayer.
Osei Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol bnei Adam. It feels very special that my friend and colleague Rabbi Flip Rice is in the congregation this evening at the Ark Synagogue. Not only that, he is going to be on the pulpit in 2 moments' time as well. Just to set a little bit of context, coming up at the end of this month is the World Union for Progressive Judaism's, is it annual conference? It seems like it.
Well, it's supposed to be a biennial conference, but it's every 4 years now. So.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's a special occasion. There we go. I hadn't noticed that time flew by. And one of the aspects of the World Union for Progressive Judaism's conference is to connect people throughout the world. And so at the Ark Synagogue, we're delighted. In fact, we snapped up the chance. In fact, we even nudged out the way another synagogue to be able to twin with Temple Micah in Nashville because of the links that I have. And in fact, on Shavuot, on Sunday night, we're also going to be linking with Brit Olam community in Kiryat Ono in Israel. More to say about that community another time. Rabbi Flip and indeed his wife, Rabbi Laurie Rice, were classmates of mine when I studied at Hebrew Union College in New York City in the years 1999 to 2000. We clicked and created a beautiful relationship, and we hope that this will be reignited through this service as well, and through our coming together as communities. I'm pretty safe ground to say that our community would love to come to Nashville, and I think London's not a bad city to come to either. So I think this could be a good relationship all round. But for now, let us go over to Temple Micah, Nashville, Rabbi Flip Rice.
Shalom Aleichem. Here in the south of the United States of America, we like to translate that as, may peace be upon you all. We welcome you here to Congregation Micah in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. My name is Philip Rice. They call me Rabbi Flip. They do that partly because I'm only one of the rabbis here at Micah, the other being Rabbi Laurie Rice. And together we're a rabbinic team, not unlike the team you have in Rabbi Aaron and Tammy, who we met several decades ago in New York City. It was a time when we were studying to become rabbis. And we have many memories studying in New York together. It was Aaron, you introduced me to halloumi, and every time we eat that cheese, we think of you. I think of the time we took you to a baseball game, the Mets. Yeah, it happened to be Jewish Heritage Appreciation Day. That happens in New York City, but not in a lot of other places in the States. The truth is, it doesn't go Jerusalem, New York, Nashville. There's a lot of larger Jewish populations in cities besides and in between. One of them being London. But we are all part of Klal Yisrael, part of the community of Israel. So when the opportunity through the World Union for Progressive Judaism offered us a chance to spend a little time together and have our communities come together, well, Rabbi Aaron and I, we had to jump on that idea. So I'm going to share a little Torah with you and introduce you a little bit to our community and the South. And we're anxious to have you all do that with us as well. And hopefully this partnership will grow. At Micah, we take seriously the approach of seeking justice and practicing a lot of compassion, mercy, and ultimately humbly recognizing we don't have all the answers. We try our best to relate to God and to Torah and to Israel, both the state holding it up to its highest ideals and also supporting it and visiting it and exposing people to it, that it's a real place. As well as Torah, which is part of what unites us, especially around this time of year. I thought I would start with a story that's meaningful to me, that explains a lot of how I approach Judaism. It's a story from the Talmud. It's about a Rabbi Ishmael. You see, when Rabbi Ishmael was one of the 10 martyrs of the Jewish people during Roman times, and when he was led to the gallows, a bat kol, a heavenly voice, was heard. It said, Rabbi Ishmael, should you shed one tear, I will return the world to its primary chaos, to its tovu vabohu. And, Rabbi Ishmael had just seen his friends be killed, and all of Judaism looked like it was hanging in the balance. Anyway, he didn't cry. He didn't shed a tear. And I couldn't understand for so long why he didn't cry. I mean, with the world the way that it is, why not destroy it? It came to be that Elie Wiesel, of blessed memory, my teacher, taught a lot of us why he didn't cry. He said he didn't cry because even in his last moments, Rabbi Ishmael was a teacher, and he wanted to teach us a lesson about Judaism. And that lesson is, to be a Jew is to have all the reason in the world to want to destroy the world and not destroy it. It's to have all the reason in the world to want to hate Germans and not hate them. To have all the reasons not to trust the Arab community and yet still try to make peace. So, ultimately, Professor Greenberg was a teller of tales from the Talmud, just like me, just like Rabbi Aaron Goldstein. And what we seek in our Judaism has a lot to do with Torah and how we approach it and what it means to us and how we study it and incorporate it into our lives. So the Torah I want to share with you is an obvious one. It's what we often refer to as the watchword of our faith. This idea of Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, right? Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. You know, it doesn't say, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is eternal. It doesn't say, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is omniscient or omnipotent. It says that God is one, as opposed to two or three, but not just in number. To believe in Echad is to understand sort of the great connection or the unity, the binding that links all of us in this great chain of a tradition, all of us to each other. And here's the difference that makes. Here's the difference that monotheism makes, right? The great truth in monotheism is that every creature, the rock and the blade of grass, your annoying neighbor, people you love intimately, we all come from the same place. And therefore, and this is the key part, we have to treat each other that way. You have to get to know them. And this is the part that Judaism adds, because right in the Torah, after the Shema, we get the command ve'ahavta, to love. We study Torah in order to fulfill that command, to love, to get to know the life around us, the communities, our spiritual communities, and to get to love them with all of our mistakes, with all of our shortcomings. It's part of who we are, and we know that science and our experience lately has testified to this ancient religious insight, the fact that we are connected, right? All of life on the planet, genetically connected, coming from the same place. And Judaism's crucial idea, right, that from this Big Bang, from this cataclysmic explosion, we emerged in a flash of light, amidst all the darkness, called to remember our common origins, and to struggle always towards this light, to be a force of love. So here in the South, here at Micah, we try to be a force of love in everything that we do. We bring justice to those who need it. So yes, with regards to racial tensions in our country, we are at the forefront of doing what we can to build relationships and to fight for those who don't have a voice. We apply compassion here in our sanctuary, and it emanates out to the entire community. And again, we humbly partner with all sorts of organizations, and now with you, in seeking to bring more love and more of that ultimate concept with the way we started, more shalom, more of a sense of wholeness and peace. We want to seam it. We want to put it everywhere we can. It's why we're connected with organizations like the World Union for Progressive Judaism and why we're connected with you. It's the love and the shalom I saw immediately in your great leader, Rabbi Aaron Goldstein, and his wife Tammy and their beautiful family. And we are anxious to share more love and shalom with you. Here at Music City, we have a special knack. We write music to express our love and to express that we want peace everywhere. So we're going to invite Miss Lisa Silver, our musical director, in, and she's going to share a song that she wrote with you to conclude our little time together. I wish you great meaning in Torah. I wish our friendship to continue to grow. And most of all, I wish you shalom, wholeness, and peace. 2.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. We each hold a gift, man and woman, boy and girl. There's as many pieces of this gift as people in the world. And if we put them all together, maybe we can find a way to build a peaceful world one day. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha.
Thank you so much to Rabbi Flip and Lisa Silver for creating such a special atmosphere for us this Shabbat and creating this incredible connection as well across the Atlantic and between families, between communities. I'd be fascinated to know the differences and the similarities in terms of community, those things that we share and those things that are different. You will notice, for example, that there are no flags in our temple, either side of the Ark, but you'll see more about our Ark later when you have a sermon from me and a little bit more about our own community. But what I think we certainly have is a love of Torah, a love of peace and justice, as Rabbi Flip said, and also the special connection that all Jewish people can create across the globe. I'm also interested as to whether at Temple Michael people count the Omer. They're probably closer to it in terms of harvest and everything that we might be here in the city.
Although
I'm not sure.
Barbora, who's joining us from Czech Republic, lives on a farm, so she's probably
absolutely.
even closer.
Yeah, no, Barbora definitely is. And we probably have some others from... it's been wonderful to be a really international community tonight, and we hope that everybody across the globe who is with us is enjoying a peaceful Shabbat, especially we think of those in India, especially at this time as well, who are struggling so much, and our friends in Brazil and South America and Central America. But one thing we are doing, at least some people in the community, is counting the Omer. So Rabbi Leah, over to you.
Absolutely. So if you are counting the Omer, then do join me in reciting the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayomer echad ve'arba'im yom, shehem 5 shavuot ו5 yamim la'omer. Today is 41 days to the Omer, making 5 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. I seem to have done two different. In the Hebrew, I did 5 days and 5 weeks and 5 days. I think that was just a typo. It is definitely 5 weeks and 6 days to the Omer. It's just to prepare us for tomorrow's Torah reading. If you're joining us tomorrow morning, we will be reading about the sabbatical year, and you'll see, and then the Jubilee year, and you'll see that clearly, as my Hebrew class concluded yesterday, even in Torah times, they were losing the plot with counting the years. So maybe I lost the plot one day early. But 41 days to the Omer.
And we figure out, we went for a family walk around Croxley Green yesterday, and in the fields, it seems like there might be a sabbatical year because we can't quite work out what they're doing in the fields. But do join us and come out and have a wonderful walk around Croxley Green if you wish, and get out in the countryside and see if there's any wheat growing.
Lots of bluebells.
Lots of bluebells, that's sure we've got.
Lots of bluebells on our postcode group, on Project Postcode, we've all been sharing bluebells.
So for now, if you would like to rise as we come to our concluding prayers, and we sing together. Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, l'tek gdula liyotzeh bereshit, asher sam chelkeinu liyached et shemo, v'gohor aleinu lahamlich malchuto, va'anachnu kor'im, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושד יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו הנוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אלוהינו הנוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת הנוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו Creator of the universe, you give us life in which joys and sorrows are commingled in accordance with your wisdom, and you send death with its promise of eternal peace. Teach us to accept humbly and courageously whatever burden is laid upon us. And on this Shabbat, we remember the yahrzeits remembered in our community of David Henning, the husband of Jackie, of Dennis Kettle, the father of John, Edna Blake, the cousin of Stephen Weinrabe and sister of Michelle Cohen, Frances Levine, the mother-in-law of Arlene, Isaac Ellison, the father of Ruth, Kurt Baginski, the father of William, Nicole Cantor, the mother of Annie Woodcock, Sebastian Schack, grandson of Victor and Anne, son of Robert and Kate, nephew of Liz and cousin of Ben. Sigmund Scharf, grandfather of Michael Gordon, and Stephanie Dralish, the sister of Jill Ter Hovanassian, and aunt to Greg and Sylvie. Eternal God, comfort those who mourn, and let the light of faith illumine the darkness of their sorrow with the hope of immortality. Strengthen us at all times with an unfailing trust in your providence. As we say together, Yitgadal Yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayachon V'yomechon V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau V'zman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mavarach Le'olam Ulamei Amaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'a V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'tada V'talei V'talal Shemei D'Kudesha B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata V'shirata, Tushbachata V'nechemata, Da'amiran Ba'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol B'nei Adam, V'imru Amen. May the Most High, source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and to all those who mourn. Let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. There is lots going on in the community this coming week. In fact, so much, it's difficult to go through everything. But we must give a shout out to next week's Czech and Slovak Memorial Shabbat, which is one of the reasons that Ollie and Liora are in the sanctuary this evening rather than next week. We're going to have a very abridged service on the Friday night to allow us to enjoy and get to know more about our memorial scrolls, and also, in particular, the scrolls in the towns of Kladno and Trebon. Kladno, where our memorial scroll, which is in our casing that those in Temple Micah will see this evening, and our Trebon scroll, which was damaged, had some damage to the Atzei Chaim, but now repaired. We're going to rededicate it, recommission it next Shabbat morning. And on that Shabbat morning, we're going to be welcoming Rabbi David Maxer, the first Czech-born rabbi to be ordained and gain smicha and begin serving the Czech Republic after the Shoah, after the Cold War era. We've also got then Shavuot as well, and in particular, we're really asking members of the Ark to think of an object that might tell a story of their family, and perhaps to come along to our Tikkun Leil Shavuot and to be able to talk just for 5 minutes about that object and through it about their family.
Could be anything, Kiddush cup,
or anything you can think of, whether it be a picture or a photo,
Ketubah,
something, whatever it is. Even if you don't have an object, we'll accept it. So do be in touch with me, because we'd love to hear from you. As well as then joining with, as I said, our twin community in Israel, Brit Olam. And again, Torah scrolls link us all. It's very appropriate that we come together on Shavuot, because a number of years ago now, through our Yom Kippur appeal, we were able to help that community to purchase their first Torah scroll, a Yemenite scroll. And so we're going to enjoy their rabbi, Rabbi David Abraham, bringing it and showing it as well.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you want to invite people to join us still for Martin Buber on Monday. We're currently studying with one of our colleagues, Rabbi Dr. Judith Rosenberry, on Mondays. If you can't make this Monday, you can always come next Monday.
And we'll promise to record it this week and to be able to send it out properly.
We'll make sure that it's properly recorded so that you can enjoy it afterwards in case you can't make it in time for Monday.
But even before that, please do join us for a Kiddush in a few moments and come together. Hopefully you may be able to meet Rabbi Flip Rice, and please, members of the Temple Micah in Nashville, please do come along and enjoy our Kiddush with us as well. But for now, let us celebrate on this day of rejoicing, a day of Shabbat. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Tzivita pekutim b'ma'at Sinai, Shabbat u'moadim lishmo b'chol shanai, la'roch lefanai ma'sefer arucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Chemda halvavot yuma shavura, Nefashot nechavot neshama yetera, Nefesh metzera yasira necha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Kidashta berakta oto mikol yamim, v'sheshet gilita melechet kol amim, o matzu agomim hashketu vitcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Eternal God, grant strength to your people. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Eternal God, bless your people wherever they may be, with peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.